I'm not as drunk as you drunk I am.
And I fucking hate you.
Keep going, Steve.
Yeah,
Was I supposed to start that up? My bad.
Yeah, I thought you would.
Oh, no, I wasn't. I was just trying to say.
It was going great.
I was good. I was pretty good. I just felt I blacked out. What
You did
happened?
black out. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, welcome to the Everything and Nothing Show. I'm just one of your hostess with the mostest, Clayton Kisko, and I'm accompanied, of course, by the rest of the Maelstrom gamers with a very special late night episode for you guys, which we hope to be the continuous pattern here for our podcasts. We have with us today on this podcast, of course, you all know him as Cop's number one fan, but we know him near and dear as the bad boy, Steve Landis. Welcome. Yeah, bad boy. Next up, we have the A Train, the Canadian sensation, the Tea House and Tolentona.
Okanagan Valley to you, friends.
That's Canadian for I hope you enjoy this podcast, friends.
And enjoy a beer.
Cheers.
Is that really what that means?
Yeah, absolutely.
No.
And next,
Shake it up.
and next up,
And this is brought to you by Metrics Shakers, which the wonderful shakers.
and
We're
next
totally
up,
not
we have a
dropping
man
ads.
who's too hot to freeze and too cool to melt, the heartthrob, Rocco Avellino.
Oh my god.
Like 10, 15 minutes.
What's
We
that
shall
book about?
begin.
What's that book about?
That's
Won't you be
this
my
is
neighbor?
Pat Conroy's book
Yeah.
here, my friend.
You don't know how
Pat
to read.
Conroy.
You
Is
don't
that
know
a
how to read.
fiction or
I
non-fiction?
shall
or-
put it back on my shelf of books.
Dude, it would have been way better if it was a pop-up book that you turned with.
Oh my god.
Welcome back, guys. Can't wait.
Yeah, it's really good to have everybody here. And last, certainly not least, the artist formerly known as the Enigma, the wild card of the group, Ian Kane. Welcome.
What's going on, fellas?
Out forever.
What's happening, my man?
Obviously,
I
gotta
like
be.
the collar shirt you
I
got
was
going
just
on.
about
He
to say
dressed
that,
up
yeah.
really nice for us.
Yeah.
Keep it classy,
Looking
guys.
slick.
No backwards hat. Like, this is the first time I've seen it in a while,
His
man.
hair's did.
This is because it's in the evening. This is in the evening and not a weekend.
Yeah,
You guys
exactly.
go
He's
out?
looking legit.
What happened? Yeah.
What's that? No,
You
this
guys
is
go
the
out?
work attire.
Oh, it was a work attire.
Yeah.
That doesn't look nice at all.
I just come home, take off my pants, and I walk around in this collared shirt and my underwear.
Prove it.
I'll stand up.
That's about it from the rest of the night. And some video games.
Guys, it's been a while. Alan, your hair's gotten longer. Steve,
Yeah.
you're wonderful and you're eating cookies. Ian, well groomed.
Bro, I'm
Rocco,
gonna
I
eat
can't help but
cookies.
think you've gotten smarter. We've all been away
I
for a
have.
while. And coconut chip, chocolate chip.
What
I
is
can't
that?
read backwards.
Brownie brittle.
brownie
You
batter.
now,
You're eating
bruh.
brownie batter.
Brownie nipples.
Brownie
nipples.
brittle. It's like crack,
Um, Obviously, we have now a jam-packed show, 5 different separate topics. We haven't had this in a while. We're going to be going at a little bit quicker pace moving forward. But real quick, I would like to starting out our podcast with what you're playing this weekend. I'll go first, obviously, besides League. I got me some Dark Souls 2 for the Xbox One. I'll be playing that. What are you guys playing?
Dude, I got Xbox One.
Don't...
You
Not
trolling
even.
son of a
You
bitch.
troll of trolls.
Such a liar, bro. Man,
Rocco,
you got me
Rocco.
for half a second. I'm not even gonna lie. I was
That's
like,
a liar.
it's like, wait, I gotta look into his eyes. There's not truth, you liar.
Heartthrob. Heartthrob.
Okay, so I'm
What are you
gonna be playing some League, which is kind of cool because I'm back at it a little bit right now. But I'm gonna be playing a game called Talios Principle, which is coming in the mail. So I should be having it either Saturday. If not Saturday, I'll probably get it on Monday.
Nice.
So-
I've been playing,
Do you guys know what that game
Playing.
is, by the way?
I've heard of the name, but I have no idea what it's about.
Okay,
Real quick,
cool.
rundown.
All right. No, I'm not
Okay,
going to.
great.
Okay.
no, I'm not
No,
going
it was
to.
like that. It was like
Sold.
it was like a you know
Sold.
that like you know
I'm gonna
that-
buy
that-
it.
Oh, yes,
that
yes, I'm
news-
here. I'm here. What?
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm getting. Because P.S.
No.
Everybody out there, I'm at my home, which is really bad internet. If you don't know that story, it's a long one, and I'm not going to tell you all about it. But
Bad boy, what are you
Just
playing?
one.
it gets
Games.
flagged.
I'm playing
got it.
Paladins. Paladins Online.
Ooh.
It's actually really fun. It's just like Overwatch. So, I mean, it's a quick game. Like, you're in there for, like, I don't know, 10 minutes. You basically gain mastery on characters and everything like that. I mean, and you can get customized skins and stuff like that. And you build
Person shooter?
cards. Build cards kind of like Paragon. So you can build your own custom loadouts. So you can build your character whenever you want.
That's
I'm gonna be shooting
That's
guns all
crazy.
night.
That's
Why do you
crazy.
keep shooting at me, bro?
Nipple lasers.
All right,
That's
Ian, what are you
pretty
playing?
Brownie nipples. That's the new one for tonight. Brownie nipples.
Brownie nipples.
Ian, what are
I
you playing?
am.
So every time you hear
Final
that,
Fantasy 15.
Yeah,
I
I
just
heard you
got
got that. Let me know
Yeah,
how pushing a car for an hour feels, and if you
It-
feel like you still want to play it after you've done it.
at the beginning of the game. That's what you do. You're like, what the fuck? Is this serious? But it's great graphics so far.
Wait,
I'm
you do
like,
what? You pushed a car for an hour in the beginning
Part
of
of
the
the
game. That's all you
tutorial,
do.
you push a car in the middle of the
It's-
desert,
yeah,
and
it's
then
like
you go and find like stuff to repair it because it breaks down.
that's
the
Final
beginning of the
Fantasy,
game.
man. That's Final Fantasy, though.
Okay.
It's like literally the first like 5 minutes you're pushing a car. You're like, what the fuck am I getting into here? But no, you get it when you get past that little bit. I'm only like 2.5, 3 hours in, and it's pretty good so far.
And I'm still pushing the car, so you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
almost
I
at the end.
saved it.
I see,
I
I see
saved
the
it.
end.
Alan,
He's 3 hours in, and 1/3 of his gameplay so far has just been pushing a
I
car.
heard,
Fuck that
I heard it
shit.
takes literally like 3 days, like real time, to beat that game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's probably just
That's
running
good.
through it. Like that's not even like doing all the side shit.
Okay.
But
nobody
it's
got
gonna be a
time for that.
long time.
T-House, what are you playing?
League, maybe some games that I have never finished on PlayStation 4, which is basically most of them.
There was a Freudian slip there. Did you guys hear it? He said X.
Yep.
So someone's thinking of doing an Xbox.
Are you gonna do
I'm
it?
thinking about Xbox 360 and Dark Souls, actually.
Ooh, backwards compatibility.
Yeah,
I have an Xbox
One.
360. I can just play it on
You
360.
could,
Oh,
you could, you could,
Does
you
have
could.
360.
You absolutely could.
Or you could just go spend a bunch of money and get a one and play it on there.
I mean,
You can just
Yeah.
trade in.
Oblivion.
your
Computer, guys. I'm building a
oh
computer.
yes, that's
Right,
big
yeah.
news. Congratulations.
You're gonna
I'm
be
very
all about
excited
the
for when you get
computer
that.
gameplay.
Yeah, that is a big nightmare, by the way.
More
Tracking
people.
down all the fucking packages for that.
Yeah,
Not a
and
big.
Oh shit.
that's not gonna be fun. Are those packages coming directly to you?
To work, and the customer service from Direct Canada, I'm calling you out.
You heard it here, folks.
Did it blank out for everybody else, or just me on the part where he actually said
No.
something like I don't
No,
know.
it
You guys heard
blanked
it?
out. It blanked
Yeah.
out when
It
he said
was-
it sucked.
that was
it was like
perfect.
it was like
Because he
it was like a
cussed.
perfect
He
blank. Yeah.
cussed.
It was. That's what I was like. Yes.
All right, guys, we're gonna go on
Calling
to our
you
first
out.
topic. Topic.
Yeah.
Our first topic is going to be my topic. I asked each individual one of you
Oh, yeah.
to give me your choice for winners of the 2060 awards with each separate category. Steve-O was the only one to give me a fourth of the picks needed. So, thank you, Steve.
Well, I mean, you're welcome. I kind of fell off a little bit because I was like, I don't even play these fucking games. Like,
Well,
yeah.
what the fuck?
It's very clear the one game you did play.
Because I was like, I lost like I'm like, oh, this is so fucking long.
Everybody else does it, and Steve-O sends in a few, and he trickles down and says like, "Yeah, fuck this shit."
I'm done.
So
So
I want
Let's
to
see
kick
the
off this top
progress.
All right, so
because I felt like it was extremely biased. Extremely biased.
why? Oh, who
Because
the
they only
nominees
had
were?
like the nominees and everything. It was ridiculous. Like you could tell the games that they absolutely liked. Like
Well,
there's
let's
a lot
get
of
into it
games
then.
I
Let's
thought
get
were
into
better.
it. So, best multiplayer game will start us off. The nominees were Overwatch, Battlefield 1, Gears of War 4, Overcooked, Titanfall 2, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. The winner of our group was a split tie between Overwatch, picked by me, Rainbow Six Siege by Alan, Battlefield 1, picked by Rocco, and Overwatch 1,
Oh.
picked by Ian.
Yeah, 'cause I picked
Ian,
it,
we
yeah.
got okay. And then we all know, if you watched the awards yesterday, Overwatch was the winner
And-
of the actual awards.
For Game of the Award? Game of the Year?
For best
Best
multiplayer
multiplayer.
game. We'll get to game
Oh.
of the year.
Okay, my bad. I thought we're following the friggin' list, man. Why are we sending a list? We're not following it.
Well, we're going in reverse because game of the year is
Whatever.
saved for the end.
Okay,
Jeez, Steve.
Jeez. Okay, I am.
that's probably one he didn't even choose.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
I didn't. No, I didn't get to that far. I didn't know where that was at.
Best sports racing game. This was unanimous. We all thought that FIFA 2017 deserved
Yeah.
to win that award.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
And let's see. Best sports racing game. Forza Horizon 3 won.
Fuck.
Yeah. Some fucked up shit, man. FIFA should have won.
I mean,
Really?
I just hear people talking about how amazing FIFA is all the time.
Yeah.
I love
I
FIFA.
got
I do know people that like race car games love the Forza games in general. Like that's all they talk about. Matt Core, a friend of ours, loves
Yeah.
those
Perfect,
type of
yep.
games.
I just
So
can't get into those. I did like a few of those things like Need for Speed and stuff like that, and a few other things, and it's just like I just can't get into that.
Yeah, but dude,
kinda game.
if you have a setup like one
I
of
was
my
gonna say-
friends that I work with, like he
you have
actually
the
has
steering wheel.
like a steering, like a $400 steering wheel. He has a nice
He's into
actual
it.
racing seat. Like he loves that thing, and he has like an $800 graphics card, and probably a total of like probably a $3,000 computer.
Here's another genre that I think people are into that maybe not are as vocal about, and that's best strategy game. So it was
I love those.
our winner was XCOM 2. Again,
Yeah.
between
I did not
myself
pick that.
and Ian. You didn't. You picked Total. I did not pick him.
I didn't pick it.
You picked Total War Warhammer, and Rocco, you picked Civ. The winner for best strategy game was Civ 6.
Nice.
I think all of these, in my opinion, really deserve a lot of praise. I think, Alan, you might be a little bit biased for not even being able to play XCOM 2, which really sucks. You bought it.
No, I honestly probably would have picked XCOM, or actually I probably would have picked Civ if I wanted to pick the one I thought was going to win.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
the one I want to play, or like that looks cool to me whenever I see it, is Warhammer, the Total War Warhammer game.
Yeah, I
The
do
Civ
wanna
choice
play
for me was just going for a win selection there, because like I was biased in a lot of other ones. Like I selected Battlefield 1 on several of them where I knew it probably was not a winner.
You weren't the only one, Rocco, who I felt had a clear. I mean, I think we all were pretty biased in a lot of ways. Best family game. This was unanimous. Pokemon Go, and I have to agree.
Gotta be.
It also won.
Yeah,
So
of
this was the
course.
first category that we've all picked, and it also won. It's a no-brainer. This game is literally brought families and like strangers together in small
So
tiny
accessible
groups.
to anybody.
it's
People
crazy.
lost weight, tons of weight. I'm not even kidding you. They have.
I just like how you're saying that with a mouthful of brownies.
Brownie nipples.
Brownie nipples.
Hold on, guys. I'm gonna go catch this Ghastly real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah. All right, best fighting game. We had Street Fighter V, Killer Instinct Season 3, King of Fighters 24, and Pokken Tournament.
Gotta be Street Fighter.
Yeah, it has to be Street Fighter.
It's a tie between us. Our picks tied at Killer Instinct 3 and Street Fighter V. The winner was Street Fighter V.
Yeah.
I disagree, but that's because I don't think Street Fighter V is that good of a game.
So wait, Clay, if Mega Man was in every single category, would you pick that? Mega Man X.
If Mega Man X,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think so because they're not. It's not. It wouldn't. It's not a game that came out for every category.
You're dumb. You're a dummy
I'm
dumb
just
face.
not a
saying.
mobile.
I'm just saying though. Like, would you be
Oh,
biased though? That?
Yes, I would.
Okay. That's
I
fine.
would have to be, definitely. Yeah, I'm not even trying to hide that. Okay, so then we go to, let me see if I can find the actual category here. Sorry, best role-playing game. This was almost unanimous. Almost
Oh,
unanimous.
hell yeah, it is.
Yeah, Dark Souls 3 won, except Rocco, he picked WoW. World of Warcraft. Legion.
I just haven't played
That's
Dark
so
Souls.
last year.
I haven't been able to experience that yet.
I
Yeah,
haven't played Dark Souls either.
yeah, it's a great game. Great game. I've just got converted.
Let's come to the dark side.
The winner, however, is Witcher 3, Wild Hunt.
I'm gonna flip stuff.
Now, this
I
is-
would think that would be. Yeah.
Now, this is important to note. It's not Witcher 3, the core game. This is Blood and Wine was DLC pack.
It's
That's
an
what
expansion.
How can
That's
that be
bullshit.
count?
Yeah.
No,
But
it should.
It's very odd. I mean, I guess it counts because it's content and it's a
Are
game.
they Is that only if you like literally only played the Blood and Wine DLC only, and that's it? That means you're your best.
It has to be.
RPG?
It has to be what Blood and Wine, somewhat in a vacuum. Perhaps they graded it on what it also did to the Witcher 3 game, right? In regards to what that game was. But yeah, it's absolutely a DLC beat Xeno Chronicles, World of Warcraft Legion expansion, Deus Ex, Mankind a sequel, and Dark Souls 3 a sequel. That's crazy to me. I don't agree with it, but okay. Best action adventure game. This one was unanimous. Uncharted 4.
Yeah, I mean it was great.
Yeah. The winner, however, was Dishonored 2. And that
What?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm
Dude,
right there
I
with you.
first Dishonored, and I was disappointed. I was
The
like, I
first
wasted
part
money.
sucked, man. It's
Yeah.
so boring.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was very boring.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't understand it. So it would be nice if people if they did say maybe why or gave some points, but that could maybe open up a can of worms.
I think we talked about the first Dishonored one, like on the earlier podcasts before too.
Yeah, I think I ranted about how bad it was.
What are you drinking, Rocco?
Orange juice.
Straight orange, man. Best action game. This
Gotta get
was
up
our majority came away with Battlefield 1 between Ian and Rocco. Alan, you voted Doom. I voted Overwatch. The winner of best action game was Doom.
Ooh.
I think I voted Doom too. I voted Doom too. I think.
You did not vote Doom.
You
But I
didn't
vote-
vote.
You voted
didn't
Doom in a
vote.
different category.
So, okay, I just want to take a little step back on that. So, Overwatch, I thought was going to take it, quite honestly,
Me too.
because everyone's like so crazed about it. But I'll talk about that later on. What I think it's completely overhyped, quite honestly.
What,
Yeah.
Overwatch? Or
Okay.
Doom?
Overwatch.
I agree.
Yeah, I have to share those sentiments, and I thought Doom was a really great action game. But I
didn't get the
Overwatch
chance to
because
play
I
Doom.
thought it was very action packed, and a lot of people like I was thinking in that regards of like what would win. But
Yeah.
okay, best VR game. We had the unanimous vote was Batman, which I find interesting. That's between Ian and Rocco, because that VR was like an add-on later, whereas Job Simulator, and Valkyrie, who were picked by myself and Alan respectively, I believe were made from the ground up with VR in mind. The winner, however, was Res Infinite.
Oh,
Yeah, but the job
I
simulator
wasn't too
looked like
familiar
so
with
like
many of the VR titles, to be honest.
I didn't.
So I just
It-
kind of guessed one.
it looked
that
so
I thought.
generic though. Like the job simulator, it looked so it looked weird.
Yeah, the graphics
did.
weren't anything to write home about, but in this case, I don't think that really matters.
Okay.
It's about that
So
feeling.
what
that
was
it
the winner there? You
invokes.
said Resin what?
Res Infinite by Enhanced Games.
Res Infinite. Okay.
Yeah,
So we're about
Resin,
halfway
bro.
through, and I want to kind of like get through some of these pretty quickly. Game for
Okay.
Impact Award.
Yeah.
1979 was our consensus here, except I believe C Hero Quest. Alan, you had voted.
Alan's
see.
gone. I just saw Friday on his thing.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm trying to find out who. Oh, Game for Impact Award. That Dragon Cancer by Numinos Games. I'm pronouncing that. I'm killing it, and I apologize. Best performance. This was unanimous. This was Nolan North as Nathan Drake for Uncharted 4.
Yep.
And he also won. He's a what is there to be said about him? Just he's a really great voice actor. I think he also gave a really great speech afterwards. So it was really great to see him win. I'm sorry, it wasn't completely unanimous. Ian, you had voted Troy Baker as Sam Drake for the same game. Troy Baker and Nolan North are two of the big heads in voice acting. Troy Baker is also known for being Joker in Batman, Arkham Asylum, and Arkham City.
He was a good
Whose voice
Joker.
was he?
He was a
Whose
really
voice
great
was
Joker.
Troy Baker?
Sorry?
Whose voice was
Can't
Troy
see your
Baker?
face.
He was Sam Drake in Uncharted. He also
Okay, yeah, because I honestly thought that Sam's performance in that game was way better than Nathan Drake's, but I figured he would win for the kind
I
of
see.
fan vote, you know?
Yeah, and you were right. So best music and sound design. Steve, this is where you picked Doom. You were also with me as the majority in picking Doom for best music and sound design. Sorry, tied for Battlefield 1 with Alan and
I was
Rocco.
gonna say.
And then Ian, you
Because
picked
have you?
Thumper.
What was the winner though?
Doom, and that was because they were able to recreate that feeling of Doom even through the audio and music that was made, that heavy rock metal music. That's really not even popular anymore in the sense of mainstream like it was when it was created.
Right.
So for them to kind of dig in those like artifacts and bring some of that up, I thought people must have thought impressive and helped a lot. Best indie game. This was a tie between Inside and Firewatch between us. I picked Inside, Alan, you picked Inside, and then we had Firewatch from Ian and Rocco. I heard, what's interesting is I'm a huge Limbo fan, so I automatically picked Inside. That was my bias. And I heard things not necessarily all positive of Firewatch. So the winner for Best Indie Game, though, I'll have to find Best Independent Game, was Inside by Playdead. Best Esports Game, this was hilarious. We all picked League of Legends.
Yep.
But I'm pretty sure it didn't win Best Esports.
It was
CS:GO?
Overwatch. It was
It
probably
was
Overwatch.
Overwatch.
Yeah, it was
What
Overwatch.
Oh, dude, are you kidding?
What was it?
I agree.
It was Overwatch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that could just be because it's new. But that kind of sucks because League has proven time and time again that it's able to like balance, address concerns to players, revamp, put on the best esports like championship that I've been able to see. Like,
So seriously, Overwatch won that?
Well, you got to think about it too. A lot of those players that actually were in the World's tournaments, they actually play Overwatch too professionally.
sure, yeah, but
Do they? They play it also at the highest level?
Yeah. No, I don't know about the highest level, but I know that the one guy, Double Lift from TSM, he has an Overwatch thing he goes to and stuff like that and does.
But he's also retired from League for now too.
That's okay. I did not know that either.
Here's something really interesting. Best esports team. This is not something that you guys picked. It wasn't on the category. Best esports team that won, which I'm happy about, was Cloud9. But pragmatically, I can't agree with when you have SK Telecom T1 there. Maybe Cloud9 wins in other categories beyond League of Legends, but I saw this as an arrow. Like, what was the best esports team?
Fan vote.
What's that?
Like a fan vote, essentially.
Maelstrom Gamers.
No, I just mean like esports team as I know them through League of Legends. And SK Telecom 1 is the only team to win like that high level 3 times in a row. You know what I mean?
Sky has teams for other
and that's
games and stuff too, though.
Yeah, that's exactly it, and that's why I guess Cloud9 won. But I was just unaware of what other games they're really good at on an international level. Best mobile handheld game. This was pretty much unanimous, except for Ian. You picked Clash Royale. I don't know why. I mean, it's a good game. But Pokemon Go was the unanimous among us. And
No. It literally was like an overnight success, and now it's died off.
I mean,
What was?
Pokemon Go.
No,
It was only-
I still play it.
Popular, man. People still play it.
Not
Yeah,
even
in the
and,
US,
and
very
now,
popular.
now that it's died down. Okay,
Huh?
sorry. I was gonna say now that it's died down a lot.
Lies.
They've actually been able to work on improving it and everything like that. So there's been a lot of more improvements, and it's actually getting way better.
Yeah, I just feel like it was an overnight success where everyone was playing it. Now, like, at least in my circle, I don't know anyone that plays it anymore.
both games are in the top 10.
Besides you.
Okay,
Besides you.
best
Alan, by the way, I can't see your face, man.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out why it's going.
Okay.
Best art direction. This was tied between with Alan and Eve as for Uncharted. I had picked Inside. Rocky picked Overwatch, and Ian, you went Wild Card and went Abzu.
Ooh, I gotta finish that. That's a game I'm gonna play this weekend.
Nice.
Well, only because I was looking more towards the art direction, and I didn't play all those games. And I sat there and looked at it. I was like, oh, this is really cool graphics. You know, I saw videos and stuff of it. So I felt like, yeah. I mean, how is Overwatch a great art? Like that.
Well, art directed.
I just
I
like
don't
it's.
know.
I
thought
I
it had
agree with
its own
Alan. I just
style,
think
to be
though
honest.
the style,
It's
right?
too
No,
But it's not. I mean, it's.
it's just I think Blizzard has done that style consistently, and Pixar has done it consistently. And I don't know. I
Yeah.
guess to me, and the winner Inside was a little bit more refreshing from an art direction standpoint, which I think is why it won. But it did, so that's what ended up being it.
What, Overwatch 1?
No, Inside.
Oh, Inside, okay.
Best narrative. This was majority of Uncharted between Steve, Rocco, and Ian. It also won. Alan and I,
Fuck, are you serious?
I know. Alan and I picked Inside. If it's anything like Limbo had an amazing way all through gameplay to tell a story, an emotional one, and I thought that was very impressive. Whereas Uncharted has to use, like mediums and tactics that don't necessarily like our gameplay. It's really just like game breaking. Like you watch a cutscene. But I mean, I guess you can't deny the fact that Uncharted really has a great story.
It has a great story still, though.
Yeah.
Like.
It's just the fourth one in the series, and I don't know how great
gotcha.
that narrative was compared. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if I didn't play it, so I don't know how like.
It was pretty gripping, like especially the beginning of the game grabbed me pretty well. But yeah, I mean, in the end, it's typical. I would say like adventure fare for the most part.
That was my feeling.
Yep.
Okay, 2 more to go. Best studio game director. Sorry, best studio game direction. This was tied between Blizzard and Naughty Dog. Alan and Steve, you guys picked Naughty Dog. Rocco, Ian, you guys picked Blizzard. The studio that won was Blizzard. I picked DICE because studio direction, I thought DICE was really smart for Battlefield 1, While every other first-person shooter is going so far in space, they're the only shooter to go back to World War I and recognize that the direction is still needed, and what a refreshing thing that was. And so,
Didn't they also do Battlefront?
What's that?
Didn't they also do Battlefront?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah,
That was,
I didn't care for that.
That was technically
at all.
2015.
They lose because of
that
that.
was 2015 when that came out.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so that because I thought the same thing. I was like, yeah, they totally botched it because I was sitting there trying to figure between Blizzard and that, and I just said, okay, well, Blizzard, did a good job at Overwatch. People are crazy about it, and and then they still have, of course, World of Warcraft and whatnot. So,
yeah,
interesting. Okay,
Here's the storm.
So,
yeah.
So Blizzard won. Game of the year. This was between Overwatch, Doom, Inside, Titanfall 2, and Uncharted 4. From us, Uncharted 4 was the majority between Alan, Steve, and Ian. Rocco and Ian. Steve, you picked Overwatch. I picked Doom. The winner was Overwatch as Game of the year.
Now I don't see how that is. A and B. Okay, so say that list again. Say that list again.
I love that.
It's Overwatch, Doom, Inside, Titanfall 2, and Uncharted 4.
And what is there an RPG in there? Why isn't Dark Souls 3 in there?
Yeah, it's a great question.
I felt like that category was insanely biased.
Three first-person shooters, right?
Yeah, that's so
Titanfall
stupid.
2 is first-person, right?
Titanfall 2 is Game of the Year. You can replace that with
there, in the first place.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. And then Overwatch, a multiplayer game that there's a ton of them out there, that you could pick from, League of Legends, and just kind of pick your style. And
it's a Blizzard hard on. I think there's a lot
of
and it's a well polished game, but what Doom was also something that I thought was brand new in the sense that it's been so long since a game like that has come around, and in the midst of all these fast paced first person shooters that don't have health packs and all this stuff, they were able to recreate something like that. And I had all the doubts in the world about Doom. I was like, there's no way this is gonna flop. They're not gonna get it. And they hit every note according to critics and reviews, and so I thought
I've only heard good things.
Shout out to Inside for an independent studio being on that list.
Yeah, good for them. But honestly, I didn't know about Inside until this list, and I just kind of did some reviews, looked at gameplay and stuff, and that was a difficult thing on some of these categories because I was like, okay, I never played that, like Firewatch, but looking at it and reading about it, I was like, oh, that'd be a pretty interesting game.
Well, look, guys, if we want to talk about this some more, we absolutely could in another topic, post Game Awards discussion. Yep. But we're gonna move on to our next topic. Rocco, why don't you give us your topic?
Okay. I'm gonna try to do the best I can. My internet's been kind of going in and out, I can tell, while I was watching you guys do your thing. But what I wanted to do is talk about an article that I had read off of Goliath. So shout out to Goliath.com. But it was about 12 video games that only super smart people should play. And it got me, actually, we were just talking about just now, Firewatch and these other games that we hadn't even known about until we started looking them up. And this is what got me into looking at the game I had just said previously, Talos Principle. But on this list we got here, we've got number 12 comes in, it's Plague Inc. So this is supposed to be a game where you're supposed to build a pathogen that's going to spread across the entire world as fast as possible.
Wow.
And there's going to be artificial intelligence that's going to try to stop it from happening. So there's going to be doctors and different things that are going to try to upset that. The difficulty, if you can beat it, you can turn the difficulty setting up to where it's almost near impossible to beat. So these games are developed so that you can build critical thinking skills and beat the puzzle, I guess you'd say.
That's really cool.
Let me give you guys an image if you can kind of see it. It looks like a Risk board a little bit.
Ooh. A little bit like Pandemic.
Kind of exactly, like a pandemic kind of spreading thing. The next one, it's Cogs. Okay, so number 11 comes in as Cogs. Cogs is an inventive puzzle, pretty much like that whole Cog system you would see usually, build the Cogs, end up finding out how to build, beat the puzzle and then move on. And as it progresses, it gets, insanely difficult, it says. So then the next, what was that?
Just kidding. It says Minesweeper on there.
No, it's not on here.
Hey, dude, Minesweeper, if you do the big one, it's pretty difficult.
Number 10, okay, Discworld. This was kind of something cool here, so I'm going to read this one fully. Based on the literary works of Terry Pratchett, the puzzles presented in this adventure game really push your mental capacities. Even seemingly easy quests, like finding simple items, will require you to go to extraordinary lengths and do things like travel into the past in order to tweak the future so you can get what you need. And since you're often required to complete tasks in a very specific way, just clicking on everything in the area in the hopes that you'll stumble on the correct solution will almost never work. So these are kind of games that are like, these are built. So it's like non-stop puzzles for you to have to figure out as you can progress through. Like it says, you got to even go in like back in time to discover an item. Here's what this one looks like right here. See an image.
Is that Santa Claus? Oh shit! Is he pouring
it kind
drink?
of look. That's why I was like, it's like a Santa Claus sort of like, you know.
Santa's a drunk, bro.
Cheers,
like, cheers to Santa.
Yeah. By the way, making a Santa Claus Brahmin League. It's freaking awesome.
So are you guys into the kind of puzzle games too as well? Do you guys not? Is that not like? I mean, not the mainstream style like Tomb Raider and whatnot. But have you guys tried things?
Like
Eve's kind of like a puzzle. This one, Eve actually comes up on here later, I think, too.
Eve Online,
number 7. Because it's not really like a, MMO style game where you're out there and you're just shooting and stuff like that. Yeah. It's a spreadsheet style game. So it's really still like.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, a game that comes to my mind that I played back in the day, you guys probably played, was Myst.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a difficult game because you'd have to go do this and like it was just a whole map and there were certain things you had to do at certain times.
Well, most people thought God of War was a difficult game too. When you get to the Pandora's box and stuff like that, you had to figure out puzzles and do certain things. It was pretty cool.
That game's not gonna make you smarter, right?
Yeah.
Well, it made me smarter.
These will make you smarter. These will make you smarter. Okay.
Greek mythology or Roman mythology.
I think you have to be smart.
That's true.
Like, and if they're not gonna make you smarter, they're gonna like make your brain just like explode or something.
To be honest, I would say video games contribute 80% to my vocabulary expansion.
Totally.
Yep.
Oh, and typing skill.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys remember that experience when we were first playing EverQuest and you stepped in and you were like, "What the fuck do I do?" And like,
there wasn't like a guide.
It was a whole like just wide open. You have to just figure it out yourself. That's what these games are supposed to be about too. They're not supposed to be helping you in any way. These games were not built for the easy gamer. They're built for that gamer who's going to try to figure it all out themselves. There's no clues. There's no help. There's just
Google.
No. Well, yeah, I guess yeah. Well, yeah, you're gonna have to do like the Dark Souls. Like what we had kind of talked about before, like the Dark Souls kind of deal. Like you're gonna have
to what I was gonna say. Yeah, just like Dark Souls.
Some of them will be building community. Some of them will be just you got to figure the puzzle out yourself, and there's no going around that. So like one, for example, like Hacknet. This one's like one built, kind of, almost gives you. I know you can't really see that too well, but it's supposed to be like a terminal screen that has like code and stuff like that. It's really actually small.
Oh yeah,
it helps you actually like learn basic code while you're learning this, while you're playing this game, trying to learn how to like, I guess it's like beat some other type of hackers that are coming and trying to break into your system.
We got
digital combats.
The game designer from that game just came in and gave a talk and a class to ArenaNet.
Hacknet is an immersive terminal-based hacking simulator that forces you to use real-life hacking methods in order to solve a mystery involving the recent death of a prominent hacker.
Yeah,
pretty
really
cool. Yeah, exactly. So I think So the cool thing about this is that, like, my wife, for example, who's not a big gamer, right? She when she does play games, she wants to play games that are going to be difficult, ones that are going to be like puzzles and like figuring out, not going to be ones like RPGs or anything like that. Mm-hmm. She doesn't want to play action. She doesn't want to play first person shooter. She wants to play something where you got to like Kerbal Space Program.
So
where you learn literally how to build like spaceships, and you're going to blow up your spaceship several times trying to learn how to build it appropriately. But you're learning actual like rocket science at the same time that you're learning to do this.
I say what we should do is all pick a game from that list and try playing it.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So number 2 on that list, the Talos Principle, for example, right?
Okay.
Look at the graphics right here.
I was just looking at it.
Yep. So I've only seen some like really brief stuff. It's like you're in ancient times. It's got a lot to do. The reason why I chose this one is because I like to philosophy stuff, here and there. And this has got, puzzles, mystery, and philosophy sort of tied into it all together. And when it first starts off in the intro that I saw some guy playing, it's like an ancient time, but he's a robot. And then it's like all of a sudden God's like talking to him, and it's like telling him how to do all these different things, but you don't know what it is. Kind of like you got to figure this whole thing out. It's pretty sweet so far. The graphics are insane.
That's so out of it. There's no way God can talk to robots.
I never won Rocco.
That's what you're saying. So it's like you question it. You're like, is it like, what is this? Like, what, what's happening here? Why am I even here? You gotta, and they don't give you like any answers to anything. You just gotta start moving forward. Yep. And the last but not least is a game called Space Chem, which for me was just kind of like when I saw what it was looking like it was gonna do, and just way beyond anything I want to even try to
yeah,
attempt.
the other one that you showed, Talos. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It's pretty neat.
The Talos one was one that I felt was kind of like Portals, like the game Portals.
I like Portals.
It was done by I think it was
Turtles.
I like Turtles.
You guys.
I like Lamp.
So there you have it. You have Rocco's top 12 games that will make you smarter.
Yes.
I think it's really
I think you have to be smart to play them, though, right?
Well, if not, then you'll learn very quickly, hopefully. At least that's
right.
the idea. Rocco, thank you for sharing those 12 games and that article. That was
and I will
awesome,
give you guys my experience, too, as well, whenever I actually start, checking out the Talos principle and see what happens from there. You can see my frustration or whatnot.
Let's go on to our next topic. Ian, you got a pretty good one for us, don't you?
Yeah. So basically what I was looking to talk about here today is getting in the minds of an opponent. Be it like games or in sporting events. A good one that we could all talk about right here is League of Legends. I mean, I've been known to talk my fair share of shit
Especially
to people.
when liquor is involved.
But I get people all amped up when I'm beating their ass and, and they sit there and freak out, and tilt them, and then their whole team goes against them. So just getting in the minds of like an opponent, just like even in playing football and everything, if you did a great thing, like, running far and breaking a tackle, you start talking shit to the guy that you're like, oh, you can't tackle me. And then he tries even harder and fails even more. And he starts doing more risque, crazier things to just go after you. And it's hurting the team or hurting himself in actually trying to win. So, like, do you guys think it's like a very good, useful tool? And how do you think it is in gaming?
Dude, I think it's absolutely useful tool in physical contact sports, regular sports, like real life sports. I think in gaming on a professional level, that's definitely something people do in football and baseball and whatnot. I think definitely football, hockey.
Yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
baseball not so much. It's more of mind games or like kind of like body language. I don't really see a lot of trash talking like talked on the bases and stuff like that, but I will say that like in video games, I see that in the community. I don't see that necessarily on a professional level. When we watch League of Legends, I don't see Faker fucking talking shit to the other team who's playing. You know what I mean?
Well, he should. Do they still have all chat? I mean, do they not?
Dude, that'd be some funny shit though. Because honestly, like,
because I would be doing that.
League needs a player like that. Like League needs a player.
I'll do it.
Hey, you know what I mean?
No, because then people would just start being like dicks, and then
that's when you
go.
Toxic. People are just break the game. What happened? Yeah.
You know what the easiest way to tilt Clay is? Just type easy.
Oh.
He hates that.
So much. And he'll do just to kill you.
Dude, that gets me.
I guess I agree with Clay though. I think on the professional level, when it comes to esports, that'll get bypassed because like if somebody, it's the same thing as like if somebody's doing the same thing to me, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't really give a shit. Yeah. Like they could write easy and be like, easy sauce, and like write it back and be like, fuck, what are you gonna do now? The guy's like, well, he tried to troll in another way. Like, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, your mom. Yeah, my mom.
But I think it is an effective thing though, that if you do get in somebody's mind, which is capable of happening, I think you can get them off their game entirely, whether it's a physical sport or an e-sport. I think that is it's a tool that you could use, or it could hurt you. You could play the game so long and it's not really effective, and now it's actually screwing you over because you're worrying too much about that, focusing on how you're going to mess them up instead of the game itself. Because you're not getting messed up by it.
What's a little bit more fun in the physical realm, and maybe Rocco, you could speak to this. When you get in somebody's head in like a lacrosse game or a football game, you can see it. Like you can see them like kind of like in an esports game, you can't really see it. Like you might be able to if you look hard enough and see them like
maybe in his gameplay or something like that. You know?
But it's much more
it's a lack of what it is a lack of confidence. If you get yourself implanted, you'll immediately start to see a lack of confidence. Like whether it be they start to fumble the ball in real life, or it's the guys not making the best positioning plays in the game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like you'll see it just. It'll start to develop into stress. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Where they start to make bad decisions. Like it translates in many different ways, but you can visibly see it.
I had it happen in a high school football game once. The guy that I was blocking was way bigger than me. He was a defensive end, and so I used my technique to block him. So like we got a huge run on my side because I blocked him a certain way. So the next play, he comes up and just destroys me, but that's fine because I was the only guy between him and the running back that he could have easily tackled, and we scored a touchdown. And like in my head, I'm like, that fucking hurt, but hey, we scored, and all that guy really cared about was hitting me. I knew that I got in his mind because like he was cursing at me when I did that the play before. He was freaking out. So I was like, and I hurt my shoulder. It sucked, but I just remember being like, ha ha ha, fucker.
And Alan, you played quite a bit of lacrosse in high school. Did you experience something like that?
So I'm guessing we've moved on to the like shit talking aspect of sports.
Yes.
I hate it. I think it's fucking dirty. I think
you don't talk shit. You don't ever talk shit.
Only after somebody else has started it.
Right.
I don't initiate it though. I don't initiate it, and I don't mind like just throwing it back at somebody and like getting inside of their head, because that's like the game they want to play. But I think if you're playing a sport, yes, there is like a mental aspect. Like you need to be mentally prepared for everything. But I think the people that you need to use that don't have the level of skill to execute the sport on like a pure sense of the sport or event.
Yeah, okay, because I'm gonna tell you guys, I was that asshole. Okay, because I would be that guy that like if you didn't get to the ball, I'd be like, man, you're too slow, bro. You're too slow. Like when I get the ball back to the offense and we come back and we're sitting there watching them, I'm like, bro, you gotta get faster, man. You're not gonna be able to keep up with me if you keep up like that. And like it's me just being like more like building my own confidence, being like, you're not gonna be able to do this, man. You can't take me. But at the same time, like trying to get in his head, like, really, bro, you are slow. If I'm gonna whoop you like that,
well,
like
it's gonna happen. The thing is, too, is you're doing that and you're hitting him with the fucking stick too. So it's getting in their head even more, right?
Well, it's not just that. It's like I'm saying that, and then I go and I scoop that ball up because I am faster, and I run down the field and I throw it off, and then I say it again. Bro, it's gonna set in. You're gonna get angry.
His opponent from just like the sporting side of it, but that's the thing is then you're just digging those like wounds deeper by like it's just like in League, like you kill somebody, but like then you just say like easy, like did you have to say easy or did you just like want to
or thanks.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. That's why I say it on the field, because it can be super effective.
Like I mean, it gets under my skin. Like I know it's so annoying and everything, but I'm just saying, like,
I've been on the other end. I've been on the other end plenty of times in my life, and it can be super frustrating too, because you're like, damn, because the guy could be for real. Like they could be out, doing me entirely, like out jumping me, outrunning me, and I'm like, there's nothing I can do, and he's talking shit at the same time. It's like, oh, now I'm really angry.
I lean towards Alan's mentality of like, I'll talk shit, and only when someone is giving it to me. Like when I play Hearthstone, people will just be like, well played, like when they're about to beat me. And the one thing I love doing the most is just having that miracle turn where I just like blast them and kill them out of nowhere, and I'm just like, well played. I
had an epic one. Yeah. I had one on Clash Royale that happened. The guy the whole time was like doing like the little laughy face and all this other shit, and I was just getting wrecked. This fucking sucks. So I like skate by and barely like survive like the first 2 rounds, and it's like coming down to the end, and I just threw everything I had at him, and I won like by barely, and I just started throwing everything back at him, and I posted it like so other people could view it, and I had a few buddies at work that were like, "That was awesome, that was like epic," because
feels good.
It was pissing me off the whole time. I'm like, I fucking hate this guy, and when I did it, I was like, yes.
It's amazing how something as small as that could just piss you off because you know exactly what they're doing, right?
Like talking about pissing off, I was trying to do that with Leona and Aram just before we got on here for this podcast, and I'm just doing that thing, you know, like right there, like that dance, like you just shake your sword, yeah.
Wait, do
like
that again,
doing that
Rocco?
nonstop, like.
Yeah,
it looks perfect. That's what she does.
That's why.
No, this is the shield. This is the sword.
Oh, right.
Is that their names? Is that their names?
I was gonna say that's why I was late. I was playing an ARAM and I was playing Trundle, so I did the troll dance. I was doing the troll dance and all of it. Yeah, I went 10, 4, and 45 because I went the tank build.
And that's why you get to do the troll dance.
It was
yeah.
So
probably pisses them off.
I think it's definitely something. People have different strategies, but I think it works even on a very high and professional level. It's very interesting. I think esports has it, but we haven't seen it in a professional level. There's some of us that would like to see it happen on a professional level, and there's definitely some of us that do not want to see that happen.
But it's like in poker all the time, right? Like there's people that just be there at the table, they're just doing their thing, they're trying to play, but then there's that one guy that just wants to talk the entire time, and then like shows you the bluff, shows you when he did win, like tells you like, oh, like good laydown, like I totally had it, you know, and there's just like kind of like getting in your mind, and I think, especially in a sport like that using that like mental aspect of it, like the shit talking, I think that is definitely like a area where you're already having to like crunch numbers like on a professional level. I'm talking about, right? Like you're already having to do so much mental work that
I wouldn't do it there.
Like it just seems poor sportsmanship to be like really vicious with like your table talk, I guess.
Yeah, I know this is kind of like on the subject and off the subject a little bit. But I want to ask. But if they allowed you to like mic, like say the wide receivers and the players and stuff like that on football were mic'd, and would you pay extra? And you're able to pay like $40 or something, but you get to hear what they're saying the entire time. Would you pay it? Well, I know they already do that.
Yeah, it's called mic'd up, and then
it's called mic'd up. Yeah,
I know, but like they're cussing though, like the entire time, like because I know they got to be cussing at each other and
they bleep it out.
And that not only that, they also now are throwing flags on that stuff. They're like,
they are?
Yeah. If they're doing it too much, you'll see just like a random flag. You're like, what the hell is that for? And they're like, I don't know what they call it.
Like unsportsmanlike conduct or something.
Well, that's the thing. So like, don't get me wrong when I say talk shit. It's not like I sit there and do it all.
Oh, you're like an asshole.
I will definitely.
No, you're a prick.
No, but you'll say it like 1, 2 times, 3 times, something like that. Maybe 4, 5, 7, 8 times.
If you want to hear more stuff like that, go to NFL.com/mic'd-up and you can watch some more of that stuff. Steve-O, you got a topic for us that I think kind of. I mean, we're talking about getting under people's skin. I think it kind of connects to your topic a little bit.
Okay, well, I was just gonna ask you guys if you guys like around Thanksgiving dinner. I know you guys are around a lot of family. I know a lot of family didn't.
What just happened?
Plane.
Oh yeah, I can't even hear it because you guys.
Yeah,
if you guys were trying to avoid politics conversation, or like if someone did say something to you at the table, like how did you avoid it? Or did you guys just avoid it, like not talk about it entirely? Like
I throw my plate to avoid it. I'm like, oh hey.
It got specifically avoided at my house for dinner.
Yeah, it was texted to us actually.
It was text to the entire family and every member coming to the family. We won't be talking about politics today.
Oh, that's so funny.
Well, that's good to like preface it ahead of time. I thought you meant like all of a sudden something happened and everyone was just like silent the entire time or something.
No, they just said we don't even want to do it because at our dinner table we all knew that we had different mixed
polar
views on polar opposites on what you would do. Okay, that's just the better way to say it.
Yeah.
But that there was no need to have that discussion because it wouldn't have led to anything.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Well, just like at work, there's a few people that are just so vocal about it, and I'm like, I'm not even gonna say anything because it's just gonna spark conflict, and why do you want to do that?
I'm surprised you're talking about it on work.
Really, you're not supposed to. Yeah, it's kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, think about that. Like sitting there at like your dinner table, and our dinner, there was really no politics. And if there was, my dad and I have completely different views now. And I know it. Yeah.
Who'd you vote for? You just said throw that at the table. Who'd you vote for?
Is your dad, because you're pretty moderate, Ian? Is your dad very right or left?
No, he used to be very Republican, but now he's way more Democrat.
Really?
And like, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So he's very left.
Yes.
And he's wow. And my dad and your dad switch?
Sure.
I just want a father figure that I can go to and feel comfortable and be like, dude, what happened? Instead of being like ridiculed or yelled at or something, or like I'm watching my dad share the craziest shit on Facebook right now. Like it doesn't even make sense.
I have family members, like
you.
extended family, that are like that too.
And
But it's the same on the other end. It's the same. You know, that's the funny thing, is that I just see both sides of the field. But
definitely,
we're not even going down that topic, I guess, right now.
No, I mean, I know, with that, but it's in the same vein, right? Of like,
Yeah.
you this is how people act, or these are how people want to share their opinion. So when you go to a Thanksgiving gathering table where a lot of people have a lot of different opinions, and they can be toxic, or they can be very blunt, or like very surface level, like it becomes like pretty hard to actually have that be a thing, right? Because it leads to conflict, like Rocco was saying. Like, just don't even bring it there, because it's just gonna get a lot of people upset. I know my family doesn't do stuff like that, and it constantly ends in a giant argument of everybody, like even people who agree with each other yelling at each other. Like, it's insane. It is insane.
Well, don't worry, we got in an argument, but it was about something totally different. It wasn't about politics. No, so that's the thing. It's like, I don't know, man. Yeah, with that, we have completely differing views there in the household too. But we are capable of having that discussion. Reasonable discussions sometimes, but there were select individuals that were that were going to be there too as well, that we were kind of like, nah, we don't want to do that. And if we're going to have that talk, we'll have that talk like solo behind doors, not here at a family event where we're just trying to have, like, you know, share our time and family, you know,
it's
love
really
together and whatnot.
It's important. Ian and I had a conversation that was pretty, like, we had different views, but we're respectful of each other and calm. And I will have those conversations all day, every day. And if that's what Thanksgiving means, I'm there. But when it's like a screaming match and like a personal pot shot, that's when that stuff doesn't belong there. And it's a lot, with every new person that gets added to the equation, it gets a lot like more likely to happen. Sorry, you were going to say something.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is, okay, so like at a Thanksgiving dinner, what is your goal when you bring up that kind of stuff? Like, to change everyone's point of view to think just like you? That would just be weird.
No. So this is the difficult thing for me sometimes, and it's not that I was even gonna talk about politics or like anything like that at the dinner table, but the difficult thing for me is I really dislike just shallow talk. I really do. I like to really get deep into conversations with people, because then you learn about the person. You learn about who they are, how they view reality. You actually really have that connection, that human connection. When you just talk about dumb shit up here, like, I like your clothing, or the weather's nice, or it's like you're never really going deep. It's like you don't really build those same relationships. And when you got people, especially around the Thanksgiving table, these are people that you love and you care, and usually your family members or deep or very close friends. You want to know about their lives and get deep in their lives too. Politics just happens to be one of those topics that's a part of, you know, deep within people's lives, or religion, or whatever they say that don't bring to the dinner table kind of thing, you know?
So Rocco wants to get deep in here.
But you want to talk about those things because those are important things. Those are important to that person too, you know? Like, even though they voted the whole, you know, Trump or whatever they did it because they, deep down inside, they believed that, you know, they believed that was going to be the right thing, or this or that. And you want to know why. You want to understand that. You know, and to do that, you have to have that hard question, that hard conversation. Totally. Thanksgiving's just not the time for that.
Who sent out the message?
I just like
Thanksgiving dinner time is not the time for that.
I don't know. I guess I'm kind of like there too. But I just hate it when people like just throw out shit like "Thanks, Obama" or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like it was the day after the election, and the lady came in, and like her copay, she was in the donut hole, where she has to pay like 80% out of pocket for her medication, and she was just like immediately like, so is this Trump's and Obama's fault? Like immediately, and I was just like, what? Like Trump's not even in office yet. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I just thought it was funny. Like, and then like I just turned to the farmers. I'm like, and this is why he's president. Yep, I was like,
yep. It's crazy.
And this is why people were like wondering, well, why is he? Well, that's why.
So Alan and myself are very far removed from our and our spouses or significant others are very far removed from our like hometown where family gathers for Thanksgiving. I don't know about your situation, Alan. Sarah and I don't go back to Thanksgiving because it's a lot of like one, it's not really efficient money wise. You'd rather go during Christmas, but two, I don't even really want to bring that worry politic conversation to me, right? So we avoid it. We just don't go. You have a similar situation?
I mean, my parents will bring up like politics stuff when the elections were going on. They would bring it up when I talked to them on the phone on the weekends and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure, although they both, you know, in this specific election thought like that Trump was a bit of a weirdo, like nut job kind of guy, I don't doubt that if they did vote, that they probably voted for him because they probably wouldn't vote for Hillary just because they're very right-wing, not right-wing, but at least very Republican. So it gets brought up, and now it's okay because we can both agree that Trump is like a loony person, like a crazy dude, but at the same time, you can't really do anything because you have to just like observe at this point. Because actually I was seeing my ADD coach today, and he mentioned that he's a bit like anti-establishment himself, and you know, more of like a libertarian, so not really like a Trump type person, but he thinks Trump is interesting for that anti-establishment reason. And I think that's actually where he got a lot of votes in the first place, was just because it's like, well, this guy's totally against the system and I just don't like the system, so I'm going to vote for this guy, even though he's crazy.
Right.
So I think now, you know, bringing it back, like my parents and I can all agree that like that's where we're at, like it's happening, so there's no hard feelings when we bring it up. And honestly, it doesn't go much below, like you were saying, Rocco, like surface level when we talk about that kind of stuff. Because like my dad still like asks me about like the weather and shit when I talk to him on the phone and all that kind of stuff. So he's like, I think that's just like that father-son relationship, a different time. You know, they grew up in a different generation. You know, So for me, it is a little similar in that way, but at the same time, I don't actively avoid talking about it because you know people they can talk and you can just kind of nod your head along and you don't have to necessarily tell them they're right or wrong the entire time, right? Because I have some people at work that talk about politics all the time. There's like some serious diehard people that were like pro Hillary at work, and they just they talk about it all the time. So it's easy for me to distance myself personally from the whole thing, but it is hard when you have it, you know, when you feel like it's affected somebody like close to you, like if you actually have friends, family that are like affected by somebody that gets selected in the office, because it really does change millions of people.
I have the relationship like you, like where it's like with my stepfather that we can agree that like Trump's like a crazy guy, you know, in a sense.
You guys are so lucky. My dad, the day he got elected, posted with his hat, "Make America Great Again" on Facebook.
Oh, really?
He's been nonstop sharing like.
I gotcha.
crazyhandy.com, like Breitbart stuff. Like, it's insane.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, that will be stuff that like my stepfather would still follow and whatnot. I mean, is he sharing it? No, because he's not on social media really in the first place. And he can say that he's like a loony and all, but he still would vote. He still voted in the direction. Still agrees in a lot of ways. Still, you know,
Alan,
I can be like, oh, but he's a loony, you know, and I get, but why support a loony?
Alan, your ADD coach and your family, did they mention anything with the recent like they wanted anti-establishment, but what we've seen Trump do.
Sorry, hang on.
What we see
is a little paw.
I just saw
a little paw. I thought it was Alan's hand for like it was like a little paw, right?
I actually thought Alan was holding something up in front of his camera.
Okay, what did you say? The volume got turned down.
I was curious if your ADD coach or your family had, being anti-establishment, if they mention anything about the fact that Trump has brought just more establishment in the White House.
Well, we didn't really like go too much into it, to be honest. Okay. It was kind of like it seems like these are mostly the people I talk to are Canadian for the most part up here, so it's kind of in a vacuum for them. Like they're not really getting to be affected by this, except for certain policies for the U.S. and Canada's relationship. But yeah, I think people are just like kind of seeing how it goes based on like how basically next year will go when like stuff really starts to change a bit more.
Hi guys, we could have a whole topic about this. Like you could just ask me questions about the experiences I've ran into with Trump supporters down here in Georgia so far. Like I got 2-3 a day every day down here that I go talk to, and they're just, and what they have to say, I'm just like, well, back to this stuff right over here. Like, like
oh yeah, I bet
you
want to
say something.
You do know that, like, you know what he's gonna do, right? Like, who's nominating, right? Oh god.
Yeah. All right.
Like, you do understand.
Well, let's go on to our last topic. Alan, I believe it's yours.
Okay, so I sent you guys a link. I don't know if anybody's read it yet or had a chance to check it out, but Jesus, Friday. But No Man's Sky just released a big content patch after not having had any communication with the community for, I think, 2 months after their launch of No Man's Sky. And it's a big update that they're hoping, I guess, will bring a lot of players back and kind of quell a lot of the anger that has happened from the under-delivery, I guess we can all agree, of No Man's Sky, on how they over-delivered on what would be in the actual gameplay and then how under-delivered on the actual execution of the gameplay. Mm-hmm. So within this, we won't really have to talk about the details of this particular DLC, but do you guys think that a game that has like a rough opening launch has the ability to carry on that fan base down the road with additional support?
No, I think it can.
I think it's gonna be tough.
I think it can.
Ian, right?
Well,
okay,
you gotta look.
Let's go across. I'm gonna go from here. Steve, what do you think?
I say no.
Okay, why?
Because I don't know. I haven't played No Man's Sky or anything, but I heard like people were disappointed it wasn't the game they thought it was gonna be. That similar thing happened to me with Destiny. Like we played it for a long time, and like Alan, you played it too, right?
I only played the beta, but like I knew right from the get-go, like after I played that, it wasn't for me, basically.
Yeah, well, I mean, we basically got through the whole game within like, I don't know, what was it, like 5 days, Rock? Something like that? Anyways, yeah, so like that, and they promised you to go into different galaxies and different things. I mean, granted, like, then I already went ahead and got the DLC, like all the extra packs and everything like that. Got the next one. I was like, okay, maybe this is going to change it. No, still didn't do it. We kind of got through that. We fell off, but then I guess they ended up keeping their fan base, right? And went out to the Taken King.
Yeah.
Like, and then like they got huge again. But like, I don't want to go back to it though. I don't want to go back to it. Like, I mean, I still know a lot of people that do play it, and I know it's actually really good. Like the new content and everything. They fix the storyline and everything, but I just don't want to do it because I don't know if it's because I've already been disappointed or I just don't want to get back into it again. I don't know.
And you're also being, you have so much other options out there.
Right.
Options.
So
and you're addicted to League.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Rocco, what about you?
Okay, I would say yes, because now is it going to keep you around? I don't know, but could it bring you back for at least a little bit? Yeah. The content that they were showing some videos of looks like, I mean, you got a whole new like creative engine where you can start to develop a whole, I guess like a workshop where you can park your spaceship and all this other different stuff. Like it was kind of intended to be, I think, or at least where I thought it was going to be, where you're going to be able to have this whole, exploration with this development that you can build a whole bunch and then you can do a lot more, which is what they got now. And I think that would bring me back into the game, but I don't know if it would keep me around. Like,
right,
I don't. It depends on how much content is there whenever you get into it,
So the game came out, I think, like towards the end of summer, I believe, is when the game originally came out. So say you played for like 2 weeks, you like enjoyed it, but then that third week everything kind of dropped off and you just lost your interest, right? I think that happens with all of us a lot when we buy a game because I think most of us usually get that hype from when the initial release is, and then we all kind of find something, the next hype to move
like
on to in a few weeks. Exactly.
Yeah, of course.
So say now we're like 4 or 5 months away. What is gonna like make you want to even boot that game up in the first place. Like, see, that's the thing.
So that
like,
hypothetical is
community.
I was gonna say that hypothetical is totally different than No Man's Sky, right? Because No Man's Sky was like you could play 2 days and then be freaking done with that. Because I did 3 days of that game and I was just like, this is boring.
Yeah,
like, this is terrible. It wasn't even 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like you didn't get any time into it to give it like
any amount of time. Yeah.
Didn't you feel that way with Battlefront too?
Yeah,
oh yeah,
I did.
Star Wars.
Yeah, I played it for like 2-3 days and I was like, this is just I just couldn't get into it. I was like, and I love.
And I was gonna say that game wasn't descriptively boring. You had Darth Vader running around in a you described that and it sounds good. So what do you think the commonality between those two games were that allowed you to be like, I'm done?
I guess it's down to its like the quality of its gameplay, I guess. Like, cause it was. Yeah, like the skins looked great. Darth Vader was running around. It looked awesome. Like it looked just like Darth Vader, but the gameplay just didn't. I don't think it didn't. Yeah, I don't know how do I explain it?
There's something. That's something though that hooks you when you're in a game, right?
Yeah.
Like the Division for me, I thought as a standalone game outside of all the multiplayer and everything, I thought that game was incredibly well crafted. Like the shooting felt incredible, the world felt really good. Like as a core, if you took that core gameplay and stuck it on something else, I think I would still enjoy it. Like Destiny, right? Like that game to me is like what Destiny should be,
right,
in terms of how it plays, but in a totally different wrapper.
Yeah. That's what they set out to do, and I feel like definitely they accomplished it.
So that's why so when trying to create it like a specific about why like Battlefront wasn't something enjoyable, I can't come up with something like
it doesn't hook you.
It
like
just,
Alan
it was
was
just
saying,
boring.
Right?
Like
yeah.
it was there was no hook. It was just boring.
It was repetitive. Like, there wasn't like really much customization like in your characters.
Yeah, did you guys have
there was a lot of different things.
Did you have a carrot that you were chasing in Battlefront?
Nothing. No, you just played in the thing and you shot people, and then eventually you can get a gun that really wasn't any better.
Okay,
yeah. That's kind of why I didn't like Overwatch, because Overwatch you couldn't customize things and everything like that. But that's why I like Paladins, because you can customize it by getting cards and building your champion in different ways. It's essentially just like Overwatch, but it's also kind of like League, because you actually get points for killing people, which is like gold, and you use it to buy certain items or cards, as they're saying. So it's fun.
I got one.
That's why I like Paladins more, because it's better. That's why it's exactly like Overwatch, but you get to customize your characters.
Answer to your question, Alan. What would bring you back to, like, if you had an expansion game, you broke away from the game, and then you want to get back into it? WoW was one of those things, right? So it's like when they create an expansion, then all of a sudden it's like a whole new game. You're like, whoa, dude, whole new continent, whole new quest. New levels, now new raids, new items.
Fucking
it's like
Panda.
But games that do something like that it feels like it became a whole new game, I'm down for that.
But
even if that DLC is like the price of a game.
But wouldn't one argue that the reason why an expansion to WoW brought you back is because WoW, the core game, was good itself? If Battlefront had an expansion, I don't necessarily like. To Steve's exact point and scenario, he did not want to buy the expansion of Destiny because he was burned on the core game. So even though a new whole game with, like, I think statistically speaking, like objectively speaking, it was a better version of the game, it still didn't bring him back.
Yeah, they said the storyline, because the storyline initially didn't make any sense, and they listened to everybody about that, and they said that the storyline was like perfect in the next one, the Taken King and everything.
Yeah, and I agree with the Taken King was better. I played the beta, I played the original, I played the Taken King.
Okay.
The Taken King was awesome. It was really good. Got to end level, liked it. So I don't know. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just questioning, Rocco, if that really is the thing that you need.
Would all you guys agree that nowadays, and this kind of touches on the second point I was making, that a game launch is like a movie coming out almost? It's like the most exciting possible thing for 2 weeks, but then afterwards there's going to be like another really awesome thing like the next month, right? Like so it's like you don't necessarily spend all the time that you want to spend on that game for the amount of time that's like been designed for it. And maybe like, game devs, Clay, maybe you can like jump in on this, is like they are like, all that matters is like the launch numbers, like how many sales we have in like the first 2 weeks or whatever. Like that's going to decide if we can do another game, if we can do more DLC, whatever. So if they don't catch that whatever million people, 2 million people, I don't know how many people are supposed to be like you have target audience for a game, then how are you going to get those people to even like come look at your game 6 months down the line when there's like been 40, 50 games that have come out that all are like blockbusters, you know?
Yeah. And it's very true. And if you think about it, No Man's Sky was one game that I said, you know what? I'm not just going to go out and buy it impulse. I'm going to let my friends and everyone play it. And there were people that were going crazy over it. I had a few guys at work that play, and they were like, oh, yeah, it's great. And then day 2, they're like, yeah, it sucks. I'm like, thank God I didn't spend my money on that shit.
You know.
Yeah. Meanwhile, people are like dropping buckets of money just to pre-order a game. I mean, is that concept not insane to people at this day and age?
I never pre-order.
Why do you want to pre-order a game at this point?
Yeah.
Insane.
Nope.
Sorry, you were going to say something.
No, I don't. I was no.
She's like, I need more orange juice.
I was just going to say, Alan, you're absolutely right. When game devs set out to make a game, if it's not a games for service like MMOs are, and a lot of games like have become. Even Rainbow Six would be a game for service at this point. Destiny's a game for service, as they say that like they're constantly adding more content and patches so that people come back and play it. Like most of their money is make or break in those first 2 weeks. They make all of their money in those first 2 weeks. After that, that's it. Thankfully, free to play is, I believe, responsible for a lot of this. Is that new business models are being created, so games like Rainbow Six and Diablo 3 do not tank. They have a chance to revive and fix mistakes. And if anything, like it's made those games better, and it's benefited the developers and it's benefited the consumers.
Okay, so I kind of want to touch on like the success stories just real quick, like last couple minutes here. So there's games like Diablo 3. Everybody loved it for the first week. Then they realized there was nothing to do at the end game. The basic gameplay was kind of shallow, actually. The art direction was like total departure from previous Diablo games. But then they made a big patch update, I think, maybe 6 months down the road, and all of a sudden they retooled the loot, the way the loot system works, like how you can auction house is gone. You can have endless kind of like procedurally generated dungeons, so you can always push yourself even when you're at max level. Why can a game like that still succeed and still have a huge player base today? Like it's like 3-4 years old, and there's still thousands and thousands and thousands of people playing this game. Why can a game like that succeed? Even Rainbow Six Siege didn't have that great of a launch when it came out, but now people are talking about it way more often because of the constant updates, and they're saying like, actually, it's a really fun game right now. That's why I voted for it for multiplayers, because I heard so many good things about how like fun it was, and like it was a change of pace from an Overwatch type game or any of those. Is it because these studios have the money to support something like that?
Well, how long has Diablo been out though?
Like 4
years. 4 or 5 years or something now at this point.
Well, even the very first one though. I'm
talking
about
the very first one.
Well, you got to. This is where I think it gets people though, is because people like us, like World of Warcraft's been around forever. And it reminds us when we were kids again and we were playing these games. So like people that are playing Diablo right now are probably like people like kind of like us that were playing World of Warcraft or EverQuest back then. That's why like I was super psyched out about EverQuest Next if it was ever going to come out.
Yeah, but Rainbow Six Siege doesn't have that necessarily long legacy, but it does have that IP. So my immediate thought is that a game with an IP can kind of withstand it. Because it has that like core audience that's just gonna play it if it's bad or not. I think Diablo 3 had that. I think Rainbow Six Siege had that. They also probably had enough money to keep it alive just for another patch to fix the issues.
Blizzard will certainly be able to afford the game, forever.
Right. No Man's Skies could prove us wrong in that theory, right? They are not a well-established IP. They don't have like a very strong, I would argue, player base respectively. They probably don't have the money funds equivalent to Blizzard or EA. So
there's like 20 guys I think made the game or something.
Exactly. So I mean, if they're able to pull this off, I don't know. I mean, it just
one guy made Minecraft.
It's getting a lot of hype right now, though. It's getting a lot of hype, like all over.
No Man's Sky, the core gameplay, I enjoyed it. I think the way they design the systems for like how you constantly have to like just be mining shit just to go to the next thing and like build stuff there. I think that core crafting gameplay of it just needed more depth, and like they needed like I think Steve was saying like an RPG style system where you're like upgrading your guy, not just like inventory slots to make your like suit better. You need some little bit more progression. And I mean, I haven't finished the game, so I don't really know what happens at the center of the galaxy, but I've kind of got the picture that it's basically like New Game Plus or something like that, something similar like that. There's not a big reveal or anything like that. So to me, if they retool a bit of the systems in the game, I could really enjoy it, because to me, just going from planet to planet, like system to system, I thought that was really, really fun. Like, it's so cool to see, a totally new environment, totally new creatures and things like that. So
what's interesting is that our perspective in reality is kind of changed. Like, when a game launches, it's almost like it's a beta game these days. And when you play the beta, it's almost like it was
Battlefield 4. Yeah. Battlefield 4, I think.
Right. And then what happens is they get all this data, and they collect what people want and what they don't want. And then they really make the game it was supposed to be at launch. And that's like when you want to like jump in. And that's when you want to come back. Because again, a game that doesn't have the funds to give it one more shot or fails at that second shot, I think fails for good. But a game that can take that second shot and really do something with it, I think succeeds and can continue to snowball.
Last one final quick point here, just because it's another recent example. Kind of what you're saying, Clay. I think what devs should do is make a core game that is really good, like has the base that everybody can agree is like really fun, even if it doesn't have all the content they want. They agree that it's like an incredible game. You have good launch numbers, everything. So this game, Total War Warhammer, the latest Total War game, only launched with 3 classes. In the Warhammer franchise in general, there's like thousands. There's like, I don't know, not thousands, like tens of different races that you can have. So people were like, where are all these races? And they're like, hey, we're going to support this game. They told them upfront, we're going to support this game for like the next 3 years. And since the game launched, I think early, like maybe spring this year, they've released DLC packs for almost like they keep adding race and race and race. So you can
pay for that?
You pay for them, but the thing is, it's totally there. You play against them in the base game, so even if you get your 4 base races, you'll still play the enemies, elves or beastmen or chaos or whatever.
There he goes.
Great.
I saw Friday.
Great.
I think that's really good. I think what he was going with is just showing that like a game knew what it was doing from the
Mannequin
get-go.
challenge. Mannequin challenge.
Well, so that's a great idea, and if you think about it,
It's back.
And
Do you want to finish that thought, Alan?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
So, what I was gonna say at least was, if they do something like that and put a price point that's decent, like you're like, hey, this isn't the full game.
Hey.
But
sorry to leave you hanging there. But I was gonna say
mannequin challenging, man.
But you could totally like buy DLC. Like you're like Rocco's like, fuck man, I want to play elves. Elves are the shit. I don't give a shit about any other race. I'm just gonna buy that $10 DLC pack, and now I have elves, and I can play as elves forever because I know that it's gonna be a great content pack, and I'm satisfied, right? Because then you can continually fund your game, down the road, because people have stuck around because your game as a core game was like good in the first place, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, which goes to the point of wow.
I hate that. Just like, hey, let's just launch this thing with all these promises and everything, and like maybe we won't deliver, but we'll get the feedback on what like people like and people don't like,
And we'll make a bunch of money.
And we'll make shit tons of sales, on the first 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah, and then we'll just change our company name and just fucking make more and just say,
Ian's final thoughts are...
You're joking, but I'm sure that's kind of true.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the Everything and Nothing Show. I hope you enjoyed yourself here.
Fucking cliffhanger.
Wait, what? Was there any more? I'm sorry.
No, that was it. No.
Oh, okay.
It just cut me off in the last 3 sentences, so
Sorry.
Ruined it all.
Next week, there will be another episode for you of the Everything and Nothing Show. As always, you guys can support us for free on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter by following us, liking us, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. It's very, very important. We're getting a lot of comments, guys, and I just kind of went and looked the other day, and I didn't realize how many we had. So it's probably something we want to pay attention to in the future. We had a lot of people talking to us, and I was just like, I'll comment back, because any talk is good talk. And if you have as little as $1, you can go to patreon.com/MaelstromGamers, and you can support us with that $1. You can do it for just a month. You can do it recurringly and then forget it, set it and forget it, or you can give us $5 or $10. all those rewards are packed up in there in the Patreon. You can check it out yourself at that website. So it's super helpful. You can do a little dance of spreading the money. You can be a producer, and you can be a Maelstrom gamer. If you like that, and you like what you're hearing, and you like what you're
seeing. If you're not the best and you're not the worst, then you can be a Maelstrom gamer.
It's absolutely
and that's everybody.
That's everybody. That's all the sexy beasts out there who are
for $1 a month.
You can check out us live streaming on Twitch and YouTube, showing off our mediocre gaming skills on League and Uncharted and all these other great games. We're not the best. We're certainly not the worst. We are.
But we are
entertaining. Okay. Sweet. High five.
I guess a 5 out of 7.
Yeah, perfect score. All right, guys.
Bye.
Peace. Take care.
All right.